Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. We're across the pond in England this week, and two teams are hoping to show off for an international audience. It's the Vikings going up against the Browns. With that, let's welcome in our fine broadcast team. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you very much, Larry. EA Sports coverage of the NFL. The National Football League is here and on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Cleveland Browns. Hi again, everyone, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Browns ball club. They've been playing well, really well. Winners of 5 of their last 7, but losers last time out. Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they, too, were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll be led out by the #1 overall pick of the 2008 draft, the man they call Matty Ice, quarterback Matt Ryan.
Oftentimes it's very difficult to get veteran players to move, to adapt, to add to their game, but Matt Ryan continues to expand, and in 2016, he did it so well. They threw touchdowns to 13 different receivers last season, and that was an NFL record.
Also had a franchise record over 4,900 passing yards. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Little trouble thus far on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 11. From the gun, it's Ryan. And he's got an open man. It's Gronkowski. And a big tackle there as the defender runs right through it. Right there at the 43.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And it was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the 2nd and the 3rd levels. You know, get to linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. Partner, your thoughts on this D-line?
I love a unit that can control the run and get after the passer. This is an all-around terrific defensive front. Hard to move the ball against them on the ground, and then when you want to throw it, look out. Here they come after the quarterback.
Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. To throw again, Ryan, and he comes back with one complete. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 15 yards down to the 15 and a first down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Back to the ground now. Here's Abdullah. No dice this go-around. He's hit behind the line and taken down. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
On second down, here's Ryan. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. Tony McDaniel continuing to fight downfield. The big tackle gets him for a loss of 11.
There's a little bit of defense right there. Nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They just snuffed out every route that was going. Quarterback never got rid of the football.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here. After first and second down went backwards, it's third and very long. From the shotgun, Ryan. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up fourth down.
Not sure what you're thinking here, partner, but I believe the officials have done a nice job here getting together and then coming out and indicating that there was a receiver in the area.
Absolutely, and he was in the area. Correct call made, no grounding. So our initial drive here this afternoon results in 3. I'm not sure that was a statement necessarily, but getting points on the road, never a bad thing.
No question about it, Brandon. You had a crowd that was all fired up during pregame introductions, yet you're able to quiet them just a little bit by taking the early lead.
So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. The man under center leading them, now 40 years of age in his 18th year out of Michigan, the great Tom Brady.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the 1 interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets. The bottom line, how do they get it in?
Now a run with McFadden. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1. Now Brady throwing on second down. And he fires one incomplete. Gates, the intended receiver there, and it's third down. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Throwing is Brady on third down. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. He came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. This is brought in at the 21. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. That'll be a 50-yard punt with 8 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here first and 10. Play fake here on first down. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Eric Walden coming on the blitz. He gets him for a loss of 7.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
In a blink of an eye, that happened fast, and a big sack. Off the play fake. Here's Ryan. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down. Close there. He caught it, just wasn't able to stay in bounds.
And that's where the sideline, it was used as a 12th defender. You know, 11's legal. This one is an imaginary one that my college coach used to call Sammy Sideline. Sammy Sideline can protect you at times, and in this case, that's exactly what he did for the defenders. That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
And if you're the defense and those D tackles, you like that they're trying to run the football here against your 4-3, don't you?
Yeah, because they tend to eat things up because they are so strong and physical, and especially when they play with leverage where they get lower than the offensive lineman and control them. And what I love about the good defensive tackles, they can play over the guards, they can slide and play over the center. Nobody in the offense likes that day when they have to deal with those guys.
So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. To throw on third down, Brady. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on third down to bring up fourth. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. It's taken to the 26. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And possession will switch hands, first and 10. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And they're coming off a 3 and out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
so well. Go to something else.
And maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard, inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
On first down, Ryan. He goes underneath to Abdullah. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and it's a second down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
A second down run for Abdullah. Even with the good footwork, he'll be stopped just inside the 35-yard line. Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to him back.
Ryan now to throw on third down. And they can't get the long connection as it falls incomplete.
You absolutely have to have this early on, right? 3rd and short, they elect to throw for it, and that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on 3rd and short, but you've got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And that'll make it 6-0 here in the first. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense, and over the post.
And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. They go play action here on first down. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And he's finally taken down, and it's a big gain there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. A look up to the scoreboard as time has run out on this first quarter. 6-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Browns with a football to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a first down. They'll give to McFadden. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. His throw here is incomplete. He was looking for Antonio Gates that time. Third down here.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Now Brady on the bootleg. Flush to his right. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now fourth down. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and that just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
Well, this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Minnesota. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've
got his man complete. 20, 10, touchdown, Vikings. Rob Gronkowski, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call, but he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Getting set to go again. We get a peek at Larry Fitzgerald as he heads back out there now. Looking down at the stats here, realizing he has no catches. They've targeted him twice, but no catches. So how do they get him more involved, Charles?
You make sure he touches it on routes that he likes to run. Maybe even run a reverse or some type of a jet sweep so he gets his hands on the ball and get him active and involved in the game. You just try and find ways to get him going, and it doesn't have to be something that's big downfield.
Maybe kind of like in basketball, just a shooter seeing the ball go through, you get him a rep, get him more comfortable.
I agree with that totally. Maybe set that solid screen and give him an easy look.
Well, to this point, no catches. On second down, here's Brady. And his throw is incomplete. The tight end Gates, the intended target, and it's third down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
The Browns on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 9. Here's Brady. Hard throw, incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Matt Ryan in the offense heading back onto the field. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. It's a big one there for the Vikings. 45 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. On second down, Ryan. Right side, there's Decker. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15, just shy of the 10. A nice gain of 21 yards.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that. And that's what he did.
And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 3rd and 10.
And as we've seen throughout this season, it's no picnic trying to score touchdowns against this unit. They're ranked number 1 against the run. But it's also difficult because it's not easy to throw the ball against them either.
And this is going to be incomplete.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow them to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let them get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They struggle to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. And Sturgis able to knock it through, and that's going to make this a 16-0 ball game. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
Not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though this offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points.
Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Looking for his running back, and he's got it. 14 yards, and it's a Cleveland first down.
And when you have a guy in the backfield who can catch the football, you don't just use him strictly for checkdowns or dump-offs. You make him part of the primary passing attack because what you're trying to do is get him into open field and then let him make people miss and advance the football.
Airing this one out for Fitzgerald. Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. A big play that time for Cleveland. 57 yards. They'll run. McFadden. He gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4. They try again with McFadden. And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. Back with more after this. Coming up at halftime, remember, we'll get you out to Larry Ridley in Orlando for highlights and analysis of this first half. That is, of course, unless you decide to skip him.
And for the record, we do not encourage that.
The offense on 3rd down, not good. 0 for 4 thus far. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. They'll try and run for it. This is Juszczyk. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And they'll at least get on the board here, still trailing, but 16-3 now. So give them 3 there. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they couldn't punch it in.
And credit this defense, too. That was the old bend but don't break approach. But it kept the offense out of the end zone.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And here comes Rob Gronkowski and company. And as we look at his highlights, you know, sometimes I've asked you schematically, how do you stop one player? Well, how do you stop a tight end like this without opening up other holes, partner?
You show your basic defenses, whether you're playing the 3-deep zone, the 2-deep zone.
On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. This is screen to Abdullah. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. Only 3 there on the screen. It's 2nd down.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short game.
Over the middle, that's taken in by Gronkowski. And he's brought down after a good gain. A good pickup there at 22. So in the 2nd quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
A dump off for Abdullah. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Second down now after the pass completion. To throw again is Ryan. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's going to get this inside the 30. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Tony McDaniel in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Now Ryan on 2nd down. That's complete to his tight end. This is Lance Kendricks. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
On 3rd down, Ryan. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll go out of bounds goes down inside the 15-yard line. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. And Sturgis able to knock it through. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we will send you back stateside to Orlando and say hello to Larry Ridley. He's got our EA Sports halftime report. Larry?
All right, let's get it going. Let's roll those first half highlights. Vikings opening up on offense. McDaniel's got to get the quarterback here. This ends up as a huge loss in yardage. Now 1st and 10. The long ball will find its mark here, and it leads to a touch.
Well, why don't we hold off on the halftime update after all? Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and he'll take over at the 25. Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is a real, I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Brady to throw on second down. Oh, battle for it here, and this will be caught. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. Brady now on first down. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary can really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down. They'll run it. Here's McFadden. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a first down. Play action. Now it's Brady. He'll buy some time right. He's to the 10. And is caught right at the 10-yard line. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. First down, a run with McFadden. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Darren McFadden, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Browns make some inroads here on that deficit. That's the score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Brady. And this is going to be caught, so they do get it. And the 2 points, now they're back down to a 1-score deficit. And now timeout is whistled as it appears there's a Brown shaken up on the play. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy, because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
Ryan hit, and he lost the football.
Plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
That'll net 7 yards on the ground, but it'll leave him with a healthy distance still to go on 3rd down.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
3rd and long, it's Ryan. He completes it to Jordan Nelson. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
When you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
So the penalty by the offense, and now they face a 1st and 15. Ryan. Looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. 13 yards there, offset some of the penalty yardage as it's 2nd down.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically, but a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
In the middle of the field, he's got Nelson. A good pickup there of 20 yards. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Out to the flat, that's complete to his running back. And a big hit there as he runs into a brick wall right around the 26. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another 1st down. It will. He's having a big game through the air, and sometimes those smart decisions just dump it off. That's how you continue to have big games through the air.
I agree totally. That's a great analogy, great way to put it, because he doesn't get too greedy where everything has to be pushed downfield, trying to create big plays that aren't there. You dump it off and take that nice gain, and things add up, and now you have the kind of game he's having. So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
But last year, I'm not sure we saw very many of those runs, did we, from the Vikings? I mean, they had the poorest rushing attack in the league.
Just 75 yards per game, but carries like the one we just saw, that'll help bolster that average.
Yeah, certainly, and they tried to beef up the offensive line in the offseason, brought in Latavius Murray, and then drafted Dalvin Cook out of Florida State.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
Now they'll throw it with Ryan. Underneath here to Hill. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Give him 7 on the play, and all of a sudden here it's 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Third and 2, now Ryan. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Amir Abdullah, his first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
Here comes the Browns offense back onto the field. After the long touchdown drive we just saw, you wonder if maybe that's taken a little of the wind out of this offense's sails, because they had it going pretty good last time too.
Had to sit over there for a little while, didn't they? You know, they were eager, amped up to get back on the field after just scoring, hoping to get the ball back quickly. That didn't happen, so I'd say come out, just kind of get started again. You know, it doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Just get moving, get loose again, and see if they can get it downfield. This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
And it's complete to Antonio Gates. They give him a gain of 38.
Do you get the sense, Brandon, that people are trying to retire Antonio Gates? They keep thinking this is almost the end of the line, and then he keeps making catches like the one we just saw there.
He's the old reliable, you're right, just one of 9 players in the NFL with 100 or more touchdowns. Fitzgerald bringing it in over the middle. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Larry Fitzgerald, his first touchdown on the year. And the Browns get a score closer. Well, this offense only mustered 3 points in the first half on that field goal. They picked up the pace now. 2 third-quarter touchdowns.
Hey, you remember that appearance we had last week in front of that crowd, and they asked about halftime adjustments and all that was going on. And remember what I said. It's not always an adjustment at halftime. Sometimes just remembering the game plan and playing better, tuning it up and just working through it methodically. They got it done in this case.
Of course, I'll always remember that appearance because I had on a brown belt with black shoes, and you pointed that out in front of the crowd. So thanks for that.
I said that out loud?
You did.
My bad.
So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Here comes Tom Brady and the Patriot offense back onto the field. He's been pretty solid, pretty consistent, just the 1 touchdown pass, but I think he's managed the game well, no?
I would agree with you, and that's what you're looking for out of your field data, making sure that you're playing well and not making any big mistakes. Oftentimes, that's how you're judged. How big a mistake and when it occurs. No interception so far. They'll like that.
I just want you to know that you agreeing with me, that's going to get me through this 3rd and 4th quarter. Are you touched? He's patting his heart, boys and girls. He's touched.
Respect.
On first down, Abdullah. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
Every now and then when we see a really good run, we really tend to focus on what other people did in order for that run to happen. What the offensive line did, what the receivers did to help. Sometimes the running back's pretty good too. And on that play, he picked up a lot of good yardage and made it happen with great effort.
Welcome back now here in London. It's the Vikings in possession of the football and the lead. They'll be looking to add to that total as we begin quarter number 4. Fresh set of downs here. They go back to Abdullah on first. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6. Now Ryan. They set up the screen to Hill. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. From the gun, it's Ryan. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
Well, they're slinging it, and then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown, out of his reach, and incomplete. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. We'll give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop him here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
And he'll take this one down near the 15. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And Sturgis able to knock it through, and that will bump the lead up to 11. Now it's Sturgis converted on the field goal. Now he'll send this one away on the kickoff. This one taken from the 7th. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. Last time they were out, they scored. Still trailing here, though, so some work to do.
But it's okay in terms of mindset. Because they scored the last time, they're not quite as worried about being down on the scoreboard because now their confidence is a little bit higher. They feel like they got something going, and they feel like they can attack again and put more points on the board.
Are you scoreboard watching if you're the offense, or are you just focused on this drive?
We wouldn't be telling the truth if we said that they didn't scoreboard watch. Everyone does it to some extent. But you've got to set it aside right now and just focus on this series. That'll take care of the scoreboard if they punch it into the end zone.
They were looking to go back to Gates, and it's 2nd down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Looking back to the air on 2nd down, it's Brady. He'll find the rookie, Juju Smith-Schuster. And he's brought down. The Browns passing game finding its stride. They've got another first down. Brady now on first down. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. Second down now after the incompletion. Throwing again. Brady. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. The Browns passing game finding its stride. They've got another first down. Now a play fake here on first down. That is caught inside the 5. And he is out of bounds, but not before taking this inside the 10 to the 7. Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. And now inside the red zone, the offense will operate. Handoff comes to McFadden. And he'll barrel his way into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Darren McFadden with his second touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Browns are back within a score. He's having a nice little game. Maybe already has an eye on that 3rd touchdown.
How about what our producer, Christian McLeod, likes to say when they've scored touchdowns like this? He's put a tent up in Touchdown City.
Here we go now as we get set for a big 2-point conversion. Shotgun now for Brady. And this is caught. They got it. And that could be an important 2 points. It gets him back within a field goal. I guess the coach looked at the 2-point cheat sheet, said go for it, get it to a 3-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a 2-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves.
And now out comes Minnesota. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Second down, Ryan. And Nelson's got him here right side. Now a loose football. The ball comes out. And this is picked up by the Browns. And he'll score. Touchdown, Browns. And a big turning point here in the second half, Charles, after that play.
All you're trying to do is change momentum, flip things around for your team. You're just trying to take the ball away. How about when you take it away and score? That really changes things.
Tucker now for the extra point. And that will make this a 4-point game. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Minnesota. So this offense really needs to make something happen here late in the fourth with the football. On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. And he's got his big tight end over the middle, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. They'll look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. He'll look to throw to Decker over the middle. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. Back to throw. His throw incomplete.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down. Time a factor as Ryan will hustle into the line. He's back to throw. A dump off for Abdullah. And he'll have the 1st down, getting this one to the 14-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. He goes underneath to Abdullah. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Time a factor as Ryan will hustle into the line. Back to throw. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
Ryan to throw. And that is incomplete. So this defense, they looked a little shaky to start the drive, but bottom line, they're a play away from finishing it off.
They rocked them a little bit on this drive, didn't they? But as you and I both know, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. They have a chance to end it right here.
Here we go. It's Ryan on 4th down. That is caught at the 7-yard line. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Browns are going to win the football game. Well, certainly not the way that they were hoping that possession would end, failing to convert on 4th.
And now they've got to make sure that they keep their poise, they keep their confidence. Just because it didn't work once doesn't mean if they get that same situation later that they shouldn't go for it again. The defense feels great, but the offense, they can't be despondent.
And our focus now moves on to Larry Fitzgerald. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen the guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
So the offense has it 1st and 10. Running again on 1st with McFadden. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Now a 2nd timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave him with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. 2nd and 5. McFadden broke a tackle, but not much room there. Just up past the 25, no further. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. The Browns on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 4. They'll try a little trickery here on the end around. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. A lot of scoring. There's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not at a premium. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were, but it was fun, wasn't it? Because both teams finding ways to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So for the Browns, they close out this first half at a very solid 6-2. And now it's off to Heathrow as they get set to fly back to the U.S. in a couple hours. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, the struggles intensify as they drop to 2-6 now on the year. And they'll take this loss into the bye as they'll be back in action in Week 10. So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say cheerio from London.